All right, here we go. Okay. Hi, hello, greetings and salutations. My name is Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. I just like having these little talks and the way I feel about things. Things are getting freaking wild, I tell you that. Trippy stuff is happening all over the place, man. On all kinds of different levels. One in particular, this happened yesterday. It kind of, I wasn't really surprised because the whole thing was just kind of weird. But my first crush in high school, she was she was only 6 months older than me, but she was a year ahead of me in school. And her dad was a highway patrolman. And her mom was like PTA booster club, freaking, worked at the grocery store 25 years, and all that kind of stuff, and hated me. She hated me. The way her mom would look at me, with the stink eye that she'd give, she's really good at the stink eye. Anyway, so, she had a cousin. Young, much younger. And I think I actually might have even met her cousin one time at like a family pool party kind of thing that they had. And she was like a lot, like I think like 12 or 10 or something like that. Like elementary school age, I think. And maybe it wasn't even her. Anyway, I just remember other people being there, and they had a pool, so I didn't really care because I just like to swim. And so back in 2016, shortly after I moved to Oregon, there was national news in the community where I grew up in Northern California, because her cousin got freaking taken off the street. And her husband found like her headphones and her phone. She'd gone for a run and found her headphones and her phone. And of course everyone's, she got abducted. Somebody took her. They looked for her for a few weeks, and then they found her walking down the street in Central California, outside of Dixon, down by Sacramento, and she was just like aimlessly wandering, like disorientated. She'd had a welt on her shoulder. She was in chains around her waist, just disheveled. Her hair had been cut, and that was 2016, and 2022 years later, she's in a heap of trouble because she made up the whole thing, evidently. They found out that she was just hanging out at her boyfriend's apartment down in Southern California and just didn't want to do what she's doing anymore. Didn't want that mother-wife lifestyle, what she was living where she was. So, wow, And so whenever I get baffled why people don't understand that the things that I believe in. Like, that the government, like, the way I look at it, freaking Vlad, he's over there freaking fighting the whole world and the fucking perverts and the scumbags of the planet. That's why they're not getting involved, because they're like, oh no, we don't want none. I saw some videos that they found all these servers under Chernobyl of all these nefarious acts and deeds. Come on, Tucker, we're not going out right now. Go lay down. Good boy. Come on, go lay down. I thought he was out here. He was laying down. I might have to turn off the lights. He doesn't like them sometimes. He's going in the kennel, though, so he doesn't see them as much. So, it's like, the recipient country is what I'm going to call it, the recipient country, the country that's getting it right now. The way I look at it is, and I try and explain it to people like this. It's like dad gave son side business, gave son country. Said, okay, here's the side business. Don't fuck it up. Okay? And then son went and got freaking spun out on cocaine, freaking juice, adrenochrome, whatever, you know, all drunk, just parties, raves, doing all kinds of stupid stuff, you know, invited all of his pervy friends over, ruined the house, ruined the business, ruined everything. Now dad's coming in and said, you didn't do what you're supposed to do with the business. Now I'm taking the business back. That's what I see what's happening going on over there. You know, and everybody that is freaking like I listened to a talk by an astrologer. She's got like 164,000 followers, some shit. Joni Patri, and she's talking about, in one hand, she's talking about all the truths being revealed and stuff like that. And on the other hand, she's like, I'm not going to talk about the conspiracies. I'm like, the level of denial, because these people still benefit from it. They'll still profit from it. They still benefit from the systems. They don't want to believe that it's their friends, their buddies, their pals that are the freaking scumbag perverts. I understand what that's like. I know a lot of scumbag perverts. I wish they weren't scumbag perverts. When I meet people, I don't think of anybody on this planet as a sexual being. I consider one person, to me, a sexual, and I haven't even met her yet. I don't even know who she is. I don't even know if she exists. She probably just exists in higher dimensions, and I'll see her in the next incarnate, because this one, freaking chicks are so fucking shallow and freaking just superficial. They care more about the fake shit, you know? And that's the thing, is like, I'm gonna see you without all that fake shit, so I don't fucking care. So why bother? Did Vinny lock himself in there? Or is that Luna? Luna, would you just bother yourself in the bathroom? Now they're all locking themselves in there. Calm me down, you clown dog. You clown girl. She said, I'm not a clown, you're a clown. Takes one to know one. Because you spotted you got it, give the boy kisses. Give her boy kisses. He loves you so much. So, when I think about, I always hear stories about the extent that people go to lie and cover things up. And there was just an incident here in New Mexico down by Albuquerque, I think. Maybe it was Santa Fe. I don't remember. This place is a blur to me. And there's a high-speed chase, and there's a suspected kidnapping, like the other instance I was talking about. And she's freaking supposedly lied about the whole thing too, you know? So it's just like, people lie. It's human nature. People lie. It's what level of what they lie, you know? A lot of people, I know people that freaking, they lie so much that it's just like, why do I'm like having the narrative that is in my, it's like, why am I standing here even listening to this? And oftentimes I'm the dick, because I'll get to I'm like, no, I can't anymore. I'm done. Bye. I can't. I just can't even hear it anymore. You know, do you think I believe this stuff? Do you believe this stuff? Have you known a lot of really dumb people in the world that would believe in this stuff? Because I'm not buying this shit. You know? Went to the supermarket this morning, the grocery store, to get some stuff. It's supposed to snow and get so muddy in the yard. I don't like driving up and down, although I did drive up a really long freaking muddy driveway today. Like this mud was, I know that the van can go through 6 inches of mud now, because I did it today. I'm going to get some all-terrain vehicles, some big mud tires for the van. And I'm going to talk to my buddy and see if there's ways, see what we can do, and just start freaking modifying the suspension. And I'll just have an all-wheel drive minivan. I'll be one of those. Because it'd be more practical for me to put the money into the vehicle that I already have. Because it's just the amount of money that people want for their shit in New Mexico is freaking... And it's not even New Mexico. I'm saying that it's everywhere. I understand that it's everywhere. Everybody's doing a money grab right now. Everybody's doing a go make money grab right now. They're just really into that. I think freaking Venus and Mars, or Aries, Mars, or Venus and Mars are like about to be... just the energy is so just weird. For me, I just feel like a slug walking across the salt buds in Nevada. I'm just like dissolving. But I did get out a little bit today. I feel social. I don't have the gust, and went over to my got some of these. I'm going to try some of these, look into these. It's cell rejuvenation. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to research it. So, that's the thing. It's in my stars. It's in my planetary alliance. Crystal Time said so. That, I'm always going to seek alternative healing practices. And I'll try the natural stuff. See, I'll try stuff like that. And the benefits, Mom, she's reduced the amount of supplements that she's taken because she feels so good. Isn't that amazing? And you guys are about the same age. She just didn't... You guys just have had different paths. So, Mom's going to try them. I'm going to try them. And then we'll let... if they're any good, I'll let people know. If not, I'll just not say anything. Probably. I'm trying not to talk so much shit. I'm really good at it, though. And the world is so full of so much crap, man. But like I was saying, I went to the supermarket today to get some stuff, a few things, and I'm standing in the grocery store line, and I just start preaching wherever I go. I just start talking truth, man. I just start speaking, and I start looking around, and I look around, and the guy the kid behind the register is like, "Yep." Kid that's bagging the groceries is like, "That's pretty badass. You flipped off George Bush on 9/11. That's pretty cool." And I was like, "Yeah." And then the lady behind me, we did a high five, And it's just like anything that you see on here is an accurate depiction of what's happening in local communities. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Oh, the control freaks. I read an article because it was so funny last night. I would be considered a troll. I'm sure I'm considered a troll in a lot of environments. So I'm already blocked by the muskrat and the governor of New Mexico. So, and I don't know who else. I haven't really checked. But, just last night I said something to the effect of, I said, what this state has done to my mother, what they have done to her. They took her from her family. This is back in 1950. This is how, CPS and all started to rejuvenate money. They take people, and you know what they could do? They could rehabilitate the family. They could, most of the events that happen that cause, the drug and alcohol abuse, a lot of it has to do with, learned behavior, but a lot of it could be unlearned. How much of this stuff is done because of money stress? People are so stressed out, and that's how they escape. They just use it because they don't know how to take care of their family. It's so hard. But if the system was in place to actually help the family and not hinder, but it's not made that, and just take the kid, ruin the kid's life, break the parent's heart, just drive them into freaking, further down the bottle, do all that. But things are changing because people like me have ideas of how to rehabilitate instead of freaking create hate. Yeah. And so they took her out because she was born with club feet. And I swear she was born around here somewhere. She has cousins, first cousins here, you know. And what they did is they took her out of her family in the 1950s, and then they put her in an orphanage down in El Paso, Texas. And for a long time, she talked about the statues in the front of the building, because every time we'd see those horse statues in the front of the building, she would have a recollection of those would be the statues out in front of the orphanage. She thought it was a hospital, but it was an orphanage. Is what it was. And then the orphanage owner wanted to take her home, but I think they were going to probably do terrible things to her if he were to get her, because he was a big old drunk. Instead, he went to Robert Yoakum, Stinson Yoakum, and Margaret Yoakum, a nurse. And Robert Yoakum, he was a mayor in Silver City at some point. I need to get clarification, but we were talking about it. Mom remembered Silver City, so I'm going to go with it. I know he was a mayor in New Mexico at some point. I haven't ever got clarification for sure, so, you know. And then they got a check for 18 years, and on her 18th birthday, she got a suitcase, luggage, 2 suitcases. Said, thanks a lot, bye. Yeah. She had a brother who was adopted too, you know. And so, I just saw an article about, I don't know, none of these news sources are freaking creditable. But, how she, get this, Family Secretary Barberville is an unprecedented milestone towards important cultural Indian children that the screen keeps populating. Because the article, God, I just can't stand this lady. She is such a fucking cow. She's a glutton, dude. She is a glutton. She is a glutton. I know what a glutton is. Look at those sleeves. Look at those sleeves. That is the sleeves of an arm of a woman that overindulges. She has no discipline. She doesn't care enough about herself to frickin' exercise or eat right. And so why is she going to give a shit about anybody else? And they're all like that. They're all like that. None of them aren't like that. Name one that isn't like that. And give me 5 minutes with them, and I'll tell you how they're like that. So now every New Mexican deserves affordable, comfortable place to live. So now they're setting aside $24 million to $26 million flowing into a trust fund each year, and then they're gonna freaking build their fucking cookie cutter apartments and freaking cram people into these small spaces and use shitty freaking materials and freaking hire lazy freaking employees to make them. You be easy, Luna. Let Benny be chill. And then say, that's what you get. And they pay, it just trickles down to crap. So the initial article was about affordable housing. And then it turns into access to affordable housing is an incredibly important factor in positive influence into the family's health and stability. They they say these words and it never goes to the people because you've lived in these areas. We can drive around and I can show you the verification of how their words never match up to freaking their actions never match up to their words. And then they piggyback this. The governor signed another measure Thursday that intended to prevent the arbitrary removal of Native Americans children from their tribes and home. Well, it's only took 72 fucking years? Now, what about the restitution for those lives that have been ruined for years and years? All the feelings and neglect, all the shit that comes with it, all the people that didn't get adopted into good homes. you know? But if somebody, but they fucking change a sign in DC overnight because Black Lives, it's just bullshit. It's all shit. It's all pageantry. It's a big old popularity contest, and they suck. I hated that growing up going through school, and then every job, every organization, every institution, everything I was ever a part of, I could always see the people that were touted over, that were popular, that were glorified, and just people. And I'm like, why? Why? I could never understood why the people, it's because of who they're related to. Oh, they have a lot of money. Oh, there was a reason, but the reason was just never justifiable for me. Justifiable enough for me to give a piss to want to know them. Yeah. They're just, I like the weathered, the tethered, the people that have been broken and put themselves back together again, time and time again. Those are the folks I can relate to because that's who I am. And, I drive through, I live in a tourist town, I live in Taos, and I drive through every day, and I just see these plastic people, that are so void. They're a lot of them in their masks still, a lot of them in their masks by themselves in their car, a lot of people walking down the street by themselves, and I'm just like, dude, they have been lying to you since they stole this land. Since this land has been stolen, they've been lying to you, and you still fucking buy their bullshit. You traded your fucking freedom for fucking casinos. And then I go to a coffee shop, or I go to this place, and there's Native American art. Or I go to the pet foods place, there's art everywhere, Native, and I'm like, no, you traded freedom for fucking casinos. So nobody gets to talk to me about, fighting for freedom and justice. It's all fucking publicity bullshit. Because the majority of the population in New Mexico fucking rolled over and took the Rona bailout in the ass. Pretty sure whatever state you did it, a lot of people that have done it too. And I didn't. I don't get, me and Mom don't get nothing extra, I got a few generous contributors to my channel that think about me and share what they have with me. And I take that and share what I got with other people. Because people don't know how to fucking be generous. They care too much about money. And it is nothing for me to freaking walk out of a grocery store, see somebody holding a sign, and give them $100 and be like, you know what? Not everybody on this fucking planet sucks. All right? And you keep your spirit clean and stay away from those stupid fucking drugs and booze. Mostly people are just, I don't know. You'll be all right. And find a power a bit bigger than yourself. You'll be all right. People are like, $100. I'm like, dude, your freaking shoes are like $800, and you live in fucking Taos, New Mexico. Your jacket is like, people all wear all these, everybody's brands and labels and superficial bullshit. And whenever I see those people, they're just plastic. I see like little chess pieces, You got the horse people. The ranchers, the oilers, the pawns, all the plastic, the rooks, the bishops, the military. It's all freaking a club. Stupid club, man. They're constantly changing the rules, and if you go by the rules and you do something, sometimes they'll make a rule just to accommodate you to make you a lawbreaker. It's stupid, I know it. My brother's one. We're estranged. Because he's a lawyer, worked in the state system. He's like everything that I'm not, man. It is a trip. And he doesn't let me see my niece. And he promised me years ago. I think that's one of the only promises. Because he's broken them all. According to him, I've broken them all too. So we're even. But the one that really gets me is that he said he'd never keep her from me. And that's in fact, he moved and I don't get to know her address, so I can't send her presents and stuff. I can't, not allowed. That is what a controller does. Because he knows it breaks my heart. He knows that he's always known the things that get me. You know? He's always, and now she's 7. I don't get pictures. I don't get text picture. And seeing people talk about boundaries. Oh, have your boundaries, love and light. Fuck you. You know? Cause like I've made my requests and I've gotten yelled at. You know? Hey, could you send me pictures? You know? I get the whole life doesn't revolve around you, blah, 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 all that narcissist shit. All of it. You know? So I walk down the freaking street and in tourist hell, and I'm just like, narcissist, scumbag, you know, freaking pervert, pedophile, you know, and I feel all these people's energy, and I don't go out very much, you know. I'll feel better when it's like, they just posted Taos Farmers Market. I like going out and seeing the, Bonnie, the palm reader lady, and stuff. We visit. Almost broke one of her tooth on one of my cookies I gave her. She liked the cookie, but I've always broke her tooth. But anyway, I mean, there's probably more people, at least the people that I talk to, you know, around here. I mean, maybe they're faking it that they agree with the things I say. Maybe they're just like, yeah, you know, because I've met that a lot. I'm not a freaking 100%, man. I get lied and duped a lot. I do, because I want to trust and believe, and I trust and believe in in that light aspects of the individual, and just not even caring, just okay. I get their shadow side. I get it. You know, everybody has them, but I don't care. All I can deal with the consequences, and then universe usually shows me, okay, here's some consequences. You know, it always ultimately comes down with me listening to my gut, my own discernment. You know, I'm not on any side. That's the thing, is like, I appreciate what, you know, I don't align with any organization, any denomination, any religion. I'm for truth and justice. And not doing pervy gross shit to kids, because when I was a kid I had pervy gross shit done to me, and a lot of people have. A lot of people, that Duggar guy, that guy, I feel the same way about him that right now as the first time before. I used to, because I've watched a lot of different shows, because I look at it all as like human psyche research, even TV shows, because somebody has the mentality to write this someplace, and they've gotten it from somewhere. Characters are always based on people loosely, you know. It's how collective consciousness. Anyway, I remember on TLC back when I watched it, like in 2007, like before they had a show, they had like specials, like this family they've gotten a freaking obnoxious amount of freaking children, and her uterus must be really fucking tired. Let's see how they live, right? And it was the oldest, and I remember he had a car. He's a car dealer. He's a car dealer. The car dealer type, man. Their tells, and they could never have freaking worked as a car dealer. In their whole entire incarnate, it's their vibrational frequency. It's like they could have never, but they're still a car dealer. Like, you see them all the time. Now you know what I'm talking about. Walk down the street and be like, oh, it's a car dealer. Talk to some, is it the schmoozer? The car dealer. Anyway, he was a car dealer. And evidently the transcripts came out about the nastiness of the stuff that was on the computers that he found. And see, I tracked this because I remember back, like, I think it was, I don't remember, it was 2000, back when he got in trouble, when he confessed to admitting that he had done perverted things to his sister and other kids and stuff too. It was already established. He knew it, and this is the thing: is he is like a cockroach. There's so I see people in public that are these people that have gotten away with this stuff because their family loves them so much they just want to protect them. Never mind the fucking victims. And this is the shit that I'm sick of. Yeah. So the transcripts came out of the stuff that was taking it back. That's right. Evidently, they talked to a family friend that was supposed to be a police officer, right? And said, okay, we did this, right? And evidently, the cop, the guy was not, he was a state trooper, and the state trooper is now in prison for child pornography. So, you know, and then I think about all the freaking people in like AA that have done confessions, that how many people are walking around that should be in fucking jail, but hey, you don't live that way anymore. You know what I mean? Because I know I was amongst a lot of perverts. There's this one Bobby C from Philadelphia. That was like his trademark. They send people around to conferences all over the country, and he'd stand at the podium and he'd speak and share a story about how he's not a scumbag anymore, and then he'd find the right girl, and then a couple hours later he's freaking jerking off for her in the fucking hotel room, and he's done it to who knows how many, you know, women he'd done this to. He married one of them, so at least hopefully he's not doing it anymore, thank goodness, you know. But those happy endings, he was still getting those early on too. I mean, scumbags, man. And he's a cop in Philadelphia, works for the union, you know, did 2 years in the military. He's all the criteria of all these fucking scumbags I have known and seen my whole entire life. Gave me a shout out one time at the podium. This is for my girl Marge. This is for my boy Bobby. Bobo does the freaking parades in Philadelphia. He's what they call him, the gunners. You know, real pillar of fucking society. Fucking pervert. Glad he never procreated. So they're just a dime a dozen. But, you know, and they never gotten busted. They never, you know, that's like molestation in itself. When, you know, like, what, you're a chick in a hotel room and a guy pulls out his, you know, wires get crossed. Not all girls are like that, but I know a lot of girls are, but oh well. But that guy, yeah, evidently his family didn't call him on his birthday, because they're done with him too. These guys just and you know, and there are women too. It's women too, as we know, is about old girl and frickin' the penitentiary. How come they never? And this whole and it's because the people, the lawyers, the doctors, the prominent figures, you know, all these people that are in the positions of power, you know, that do all this gross stuff, and it's all kept quiet because of who they are. You know, it's gross. It's gross. And women keep quiet. The wives just keep quiet. Just don't want to rock the boat. You know, never mind the freaking us that this stuff happens to me. I was 10 months old. I was 12, 13 years old when I read the police report about learning about penetration. Infant female baby penetrated. 10 months old. Because I remember looking at the date on the report and then counting out, and I was like, fuck, I was only 10 months old. I wasn't even a year old. Yeah. Wish I would have kept that report. But my hip still pops. That's my report. My pelvic bones hurt the older I get. Stuff like that. Nah. Sex is fucking stupid anyway. I've always been more into the dating or into the courting, you know? All that stuff, you know? Because I'm so creative, it doesn't ever end. I don't get, unless they get freaking bored with what I'm doing or just unappreciative, which has happened, I've done some pretty freaking extravagant cool stuff. I've pulled out some cool stuff for dates and stuff. I had a pretty cool date in San Francisco one time. She came down from freaking Portland, and I came over from Omaha. That was cool. It was sweet. Didn't end banging. That's the thing. It ain't freaking bumping uglies. All that stupid all that stuff. I just, you work up and you build up to, when two people like each other. You gotta see if you like each other. Everybody starts freaking chasing sensations and jumping in the sack and doing all that weird kinky shit. And then it's like that wears off and you don't even like each other. Then you feel bad for having that energy exchange. So just save it. I think that I think the whole world's doing an Etch-a-Sketch. It's like the slate is clearing, Go Putin. You get those fucking dirty pervert bastards. You get them, Putin. You get them, Putin. Because nobody else is. Because everybody else is freaking freaking cokehead Biden's fucking son, Hunter's son and all that shit, dude. And I just go watch Zach. He decodes it all. 46th president. Freaking son dies at 40. They don't die of cancer, man. It's all ritual. It's all homage to not God. To power and control. Lord knows that's the only ways they can get fucking erections anymore. Is to fucking hurt things, harm things. They're fucking so twisted in their psyche that's like the natural, which before I end this talk, that's why I named this inhumane inhumane nature, is because all we were supposed to do was take care of this earth. That was our job. That's our job. That's all that human beings are supposed to do is take care of this planet and keep her clean and happy and content. And then she ascends, and then we ascend in our abilities as she ascends. And people created all these fucking reindeer games. They made the economic system and the stock market and the bullshit this and the bullshit that and the fucking medical say, hell, we want to make people feel better. No, you want to get fucking rich and maybe the person won't die. I want to see live on a world where people are healthy of and by themselves because they care about themselves. And when they care about themselves, that involves caring about other people in a very genuine and authentic way. Not something that can be mimicked, not something that any actors ever, I see these reels of these people. Oh, Ukraine. You for the perverts? You're for the dirties? What about this country? America. We fucking killed people. For 20 years, we've been freaking nonstop bombing in other countries, creating puddles of refugees that are traveling around the Mediterranean, and this country doesn't want them, and this fucking country doesn't want them. But you guys made so much fucking money making these puddles of people that are traveling around all over Mexico, everywhere. Guns, gotta have your guns. It's not a extension of your dick. And one day, every man, it is their duty on this planet. One day, it doesn't matter. One day it's going to happen. It's not going to work. It happens to all of you. You will reach that point. And maybe it's only in death, but one day your toy will be broken. And I think about all the nonsense bullshit that is perpetuated on a fucking boner, dude. It's so stupid. Hey, Tango, did you want to go outside? Oh, he's going to the litter box. He wanted out. That's what that big meow was. He was telling me, he's like, I need out. He's like, F you, I'm going to the litter box. They're smart cats, man. I got the little girl, she came back. She missed breakfast. I'm a little worrywart, man. Wherever we move, I found a place that I had been looking at. That's what they do. They're shy. People are so shady and they're so shystery. I freaking see it in everything. And this house was listed, a few weeks back at $165,000. I was like, it says sold as is. It needs a lot of work, is what it says. Okay, right? Is in the description. I was like, all right, I can do the work. We just need a permanent forever home. I can make something out of nothing. Always been able to. I can make very uncomfortable situations very comfortable with some lights and some freaking incense and a DVD, whatever makes mom comfortable. And the critters, heck, the critters are entertaining of them by themselves. I'm gonna make a house, big old huge outside, like a bedroom size outdoor enclosure for the cats, and then I'm gonna bring some of these outdoor cats over there with me. So I've been luring them in, and the one girl had been gone. She missed breakfast. I was all in a bad mood all day, just bah. Oh, there's cats and coyotes are just going to eat them, and why should I love anything, and blah, blah, blah. And then she came back, and, oh, you're back, and she's been coming in, and she's verbal. She's actually Tango's sister. They came out of the same womb. And cats, man, watching animal behavior, because I grew up watching Mutual Omaha, and then I drive past the freaking building all the time when I lived in Omaha. If that wasn't a freaking Hudsucker proxy type stuff, all that stuff, all and everything is a trip. But that just, I know how wild and freaking insane and nasty and ugly and gross animal nature is. I know that. We're humans. We have thumbs, opposable thumbs. We have discernment. We have free will. You're not supposed to hurt other human beings. You're not supposed to put your hands on them out of anger. You're not supposed to even do it out of love. You shouldn't touch another person without permission. It should be, I'm very touchy-feely, and I ask people, and I ask them a lot, because sometimes you can tell when people aren't in the mood. And I respect that, and I prefer that they just say, not today. Doesn't hurt my feelings, because Lord knows I do not like to be, there's times I love hugs. I'm a good hug. I give good hugs. I'm only 5'2", but I'm a good hugger. I've been lifting weights a lot because I've been so squirrely, and I'm like, I don't know what else to do, so I'll get whatever. I go in the bathroom. That's where if I like take a bong hit or something, it's in the bathroom because I don't do it around mom. Or I'll go outside and I'll come back and I'll do sets. So I've been doing a lot of sets, and I'm like, I don't know what this, but by spring I'm gonna be like boom, 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 boom. People don't really bother me. I mean, they do bother me, but I usually put an end to it pretty quick. I went to freaking the Crackit store, the phone store, because they sell like Bluetooth speakers and stuff like that. And last time I went there, I think I went to pay. I had to do something, and I went there. I went to the place to do it. And, I needed to get cables. That's what it was, to charge my phone. And she was telling me about a speaker that they had. It's a really cool speaker. The company only brought like 4 of them, I guess, like a few stock, because it's, small freaking podunk town. And all the employees took one home. So they all... I went in there today to see if they had more. And it was late. It was like 1:45 in the afternoon. Because I stopped to get cat food in case it snows tomorrow. I wanted to have enough for the next couple days. Now I'm luring more of them in with the wet stuff, mixing it with the dry stuff. So they're like, "Ooh, I want to come in there." Anyway, so when oh yeah, so it was early, so it wasn't lunchtime or anything like that. Oh, it was a year to the day. As a matter of fact, this is worth acknowledging. Taos Tack is where I buy the cat food, dog food, cat litter, stuff like that. It was a year ago to the day. The owner guy, I can never remember his name. Anyway, he's a horse guy, rancher, been around here forever, you know, stuff like that. Knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. He reminds me of Maurice Minnerfield. That's like physically, like build, you know, like, you know, has a lot of money. You know they have. I do think people. Oh, we don't know it. Yeah, I know. They're poor and my poor are not the same thing. And so he fell down on his property, and he was big, and he was overweight. Right? Big, you know, they like their chilies here. Red or green, it don't matter. They just freaking eat. I don't know, not. The farmers markets go with a lot of bad eating. Bad, unhealthy. People eat their, oh, anyway. So he fell down, and his big old gut, like, freaking, like freaking smacked into the ground, right? And what I think happened was I had a dog that this happened to. I had a dog, Arthur Boo Bradley, my first dog. He got mauled by a German Shepherd, and his neck swelled up real big because it filled up with it was all fluid, is what the veterinarian said. Filled up with fluid, but ultimately the system will absorb that fluid again. So but he did this and he got the C19er. He got that, and so all that fluid like freaking crystallized his lung. It's amazing the man didn't die. He came back, right? Changed his lifestyle. I came in today, he had a t-shirt on, he looked good, you know, he looked healthy. When I came in, you know, when I moved here, he didn't look so healthy, but he looked healthy, right? He looked healthy. And he had, that was his enlightenment. That was his moment of clarity. That was his awakening, you know? And he didn't go back, as far as I know. He might put a couple pounds on, you know, but as far as I know, he has a new lease on life, and hopefully he'll hang on to that for a while. And he recognized how, and that's the thing, is he owns up and admits how, you know, he wouldn't have gotten sick so bad if he wasn't as big as he was, and he acknowledged that. The newspaper wanted to do an article on him, because he's like he owns the tax store. A lot of people know who he is. He's been around a long time, you know, and they want to do a story on it. He wouldn't do it because they kept wanting to feed the narrative. He explained it, and I said, well, say this, this, and this. And he's like, but that's not, you know, so there's definitely. And I've always known, I've known people that have worked in the radios and the, you know, been in very influential positions. And I knew a guy who was like the IT guy for the Hilton Hotel at, I think he had to sign an NDA, actually. Well, yeah, I used to know him. We're not friends anymore. But the Hilton that was connected to, I don't know what it's called now. They changed the name, and then it cost like $26 million to change the name of a building, and then it all trickles down. It was the CenturyLink arena in Omaha, where all the big stars go, you know, and then they walk across the sky cap, and, you know, they have their secret, their special entrance to the hotel, and their luxury suites, and freaking Omaha is huge on freaking human trafficking. Huge on human trafficking. Creighton, the university that I worked at, I worked in the IT department there. Do It is what they call themselves. It was in the downstairs across from the library building, right next to the cathedral. I used to go in there where they had the water. I'd be like, if there's a vampire freaking over on, this is a place where I'm going and just filling up my squirt guns. Get my holy water from here. But, and right, there's an air vent. If you're ever on campus there, if you go between the library building and the cathedral building there's an air vent there. And that is one of the entrances into the tunnel system under Creighton. You have to like lay down and roll under. It's one of those kind of things. But everybody knew about the folklore, the red bricks from the Freemasons in Chicago. All those bricks. I had a Freemason tell me the story of the history of it. You know, it's just people, that stuff isn't real. I'm like, because everyone is so adamant about the freaking, the reality of not believing that this stuff happens because they just don't want to be wrong. They don't want, how did that stuff get past me? You know, like, you know, because they're better, you know, like they should be a better judge of character and they'd recognize who's doing this stuff and not on my watch. Get a lot of that shit, but I don't know. It's getting weird. Hello, the fifth world. I'm just going to take a minute and read the comments. Hi, Landed 10. Yeah, I see, and I've lost and that's the thing is, all this time, I'm kind of freaking a dick about it. Because I'm like, oh yeah? You love your mom? Would you freaking walk away from your career and freaking be a stay-at-home daughter? Work-from-home daughter? And, you know, learn how to, you know, just do that. Although I have so many abilities. I have a lot more abilities than a lot of people. I got a freaking pretty cool resume. And now my latest thing, I'm ordained from the same church Chris from freaking Northern Exposures ordained from. I did it back in 2018, but I just married my first couple. So that's something else I can do. You know, take pictures at the wedding. I got to put those pictures on a flash drive and give it to them. And then, you know, computer stuff, I can do that too. Fix your car? Yep, could do that. Make you dinner? Yep, could do that. I don't like laundry. I am so bad about I don't like housework. There's all the other things that I like to do, but it's so redundant and I hate doing. Like, I was going to like deep clean today. And I'm like, Marge, don't because it's supposed to snow like on and off all day tomorrow. And I'm not going to go and exert my energy of doing a deep clean when it snows and then my yard turns to mud again. I did vacuum and then clean the carpet today, though. So I did do that. But, like, I was going to, because I want to, like, clean. And it doesn't matter what I do. This place is... One day I'll have my forever home. I've been running my mouth for like an hour. I already know. Egos do ruin everything. I always been thinking about how my egos ruined a lot of things. I really did like that girl that we went on the date in San Francisco, and she hates me. And I just leave her alone. But I don't know. Maybe one day she'll have a change of heart. She has OB Dog Journey, Nora. She's a pretty cool chick. Cause I don't even see like I don't know. I don't even see girls that I find very attractive anymore. And a lot of like women that I used to think were, a lot of them, like they're getting fucking plastic surgery and fucking shooting shit in their face and stuff like that. And nah. That ain't beauty to me. That is not beautiful. So, I don't know. And I'm getting more picky, way more picky. I was picky before, but I like the last relationship I was in, we had no business. We should have just always been friends. We had no bit. She was a Pisces and I'm an Aries, and when I look at it, this is my own personal freaking perception, and I did it both ways. Because I dated a Pisces and I dated a Taurus, and it's like, you know, that's those aspects are too close to mine. That's, to me, it's like fucking yourself. And that Taurus ended up marrying a Gemini, who is that perverted cop. Isn't that funny? You know, it's like fucking yourself. And they actually uncannily look remarkably the same. And you've seen those couples. Maybe you've been a part of the couple. I've never really looked like anyone I've dated. But I grew up, I loved Dolly Parton. I like flashy girls, freaking hair, makeup, you know, nails, all that stuff. It's not like that so much anymore, but I do like a lady that's freaking cares enough about herself, put herself together. Because I do. Sometimes I care enough about myself, put on a nice bow tie. Take myself out, buy myself a coffee. Yeah, that's it. All right. I've been running my mouth an hour now. That's about all I got for now. Wait, did I miss anything? Yeah, thank you for saying that, Landed 10. Ma Landed 10 said I'm good at lighting up a dark subject with humor. Because I've lived through freaking so much time. You know, a lot. We've lived through a lot of dark stuff, Ma. A lot of stuff that, like, whoa. Like, harsh realities. Life lesson learned, got it. Learned a lot, freaking, every Christmas we'd spend 11 hours on a Greyhound bus. For years, number of years, because of the court system appeasing the judge I never fucking met. Like to punch him in his nuts. Hey, frickin', you know. Mom had to pay off the lawyer $5 a month for years. For years it took, but you did it. $5 a month. A lot of times we didn't have enough food to eat, you know. Well, Grandma fucking lived in real estate, you know, paid little boys way, paid for everything. Paid. They even kidnapped us one time. Small. That's how I'm like, dude, I don't put anything past anybody because of the shit that I've personally been a part of. Mom was at a doctor's appointment. It was after a hysterectomy. They finished the hysterectomy because they started it when I was born, and then later they finished it after they mutilated her. And she, what was I talking about? I don't like that song. She was at a doctor's appointment, and I was like 2, and my brother was like 3. He's 2.5 years older than me, so he's like 5. And I remember them going back in the room, and I wanted to go, and they're like, no, you have to wait out in the waiting room. You and your brother have to wait in the waiting room. And I was like, no, I want to go with my mom. And they're like, no, you gotta. And I thought that was so weird. And then my aunt showed up. And my aunt is on my dad's side, the side of the custody suit. And then said, oh, your mom called and said that, you know, I'm going to take you for ice cream and we'll meet up with her later. Well, we didn't see her for 8 months. She saw us in the back of a car 7 months later, Ma. Saw our little faces, and then she called the police and said, my kids, you know, they kidnapped us. And how did the doctor how does a system so corrupt that the doctor would call, because she was a prominent real estate agent. She was influenced, her influence was because she was into real estate, you know. So I know the system's dirty. I haven't seen it. They put her in a Atascadero State Mental Hospital one time. I'll tell that story later. I mean, it's all, you know. So when, if people, I don't care. The people that consider me crazy If they freaking uploaded what I have and what I've witnessed and hear into their psyche for 5 minutes, they would have a much different attitude about life. That is for sure. Yep.